Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Metal Magdalene with Jet right here on Metal Messiah Radio. Tonight I'm joined by drummer Ronnie Parmer from currently in Amon, Brutality, and Perdition Temple. Welcome to the show, Ronnie.
Hey, how are you doing?
So, Ronnie, tell us about some of the bands that you have played in besides the one that I mentioned in the Florida area, and what bands right now that you're currently active in.
Oh, crap. I started I played in a bunch of bands around the area. Death in the Ruin, the main one. Another band, Burn Beyond Recognition. Another old band, Society's End. Currently, another band, Catalysis. And then after that, Angel Corpse. I did some touring with those guys. Did some touring with Immolation. And then also, obviously, got the Amon and Brutality and Perdition Temple going on right now.
And how did you get involved with Amon?
Amon, was actually, I was ending the tour with Angel Corpse and seeing that they were looking for a drummer and everything, and ended up sending over Eric some video clips of my stuff, and when I also went out to see Jesse at Swarmfest a couple years ago and talked with him as well, and they liked the video, and Eric told me to come on out and bring the kids. So came out and set up, and we had a rehearsal, and it was, chemistry from the first, rehearsal with those guys.
And now, how much have you played out with them?
We did so far, I think 4 shows, I believe. The first couple shows I did with them for me was a little rough because I had so much on my plate at the time, but we ended up picking it up and tightening it up. We had really good rehearsals and everything. It was just like, for me, at the first couple shows, it was just kind of rough. I mean, obviously, I'm filling the shoes of a, phenomenal drummer, Steve Ashine. So, for me, it was like pressure, and then I had, a bunch of stuff going on as well at the time, but we ended up killing it at the Mug for Swarmfest, and another show we did there when Corpse Grinder got on stage with us as well.
And now, do you guys, when you play out with Amon, do you play just Amon tracks, or do you play some Deicide too?
Oh, no, yeah, absolutely. We play the Deicide tunes as well, because, obviously the fans, want to hear them when they see the Hoffman Brothers,
right.
So they know that too, so we play definitely classics as well of the Deicide stuff.
And now, were you a fan of, Deicide and the Hoffman Brothers prior to this?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. It was, before my brother would always bring home stuff that, and show it to me, and, months later it'd be like, oh, these guys were, at the top of the game and stuff, and then he brought that stuff home, and sure enough, those guys blew up from the get-go, and, we were fans from the beginning. My mom would come into the door and be like, what the hell are you guys listening to? Satan and all this stuff like that, but, yeah, definitely we were big-time fans of them.
And now, currently, is Amon working on music, or have you already recorded an album? What's going on with all of that?
Yeah, we're finishing up recording right now. Eric and Brian have some stuff, some solos and stuff to finish up and stuff, but we got really good recording going on. Jesse's actually going to be finishing vocal tracks in the next couple of weeks on that, so it's getting really close to being done.
And hopefully, is this something that you think you guys are going to be able to get out this year?
We're hoping so. Right now, Eric's working on a record deal for it, and as soon as he gets that, all wrapped up and everything, and I'm sure we'll push even harder to get it done faster.
And now you're also in Brutality, too, all at the same time, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So tell us how that all came about.
Same with Brutality. Actually, I had hit them up before I hit Amon up. I was jamming with them while I was still in Angel Corpse there towards the end, and so they wanted to do an album and stuff like that, and they don't really want to tour too much, so that's why I was like, okay, well, I'll jam with somebody else, and they were totally cool with me jamming with other bands, because they just want to put out an album and do fest and big shows and stuff like that. They don't really want to tour too much, I guess, or if at all.
And so what was that whole experience like for you to get to work with Brutality?
Oh, all of them are super cool guys. I obviously tell that I knew the tunes, and then when they came out, we were able to do it in a live setting and stuff, and immediately they were like, okay, cool, you got the job, and they started booking shows, and now they're working on another album as well.
Now, what about Perdition Temple now? Are you still doing work with them? Are they still active? I'm like, I can't even keep all your bands straight, Ronnie. You're in so many.
Well, the same thing with, Perdition Temple is, because Gene was also part of Angel Corps, so when I left Angel Corps, me and Gene kind of split with the Perdition Temple thing, and he finished up the tours with Angel Corps, and then once that was done, me and him started talking again, and, he wanted to bring me back on for another album that he's going to do, and he wanted to do some live stuff and stuff like that, and Gene's always gets us on really good shows and stuff, so, I was like, yeah, I already know all the tunes and everything, so it's a no-brainer to do it.
So Ronnie, what were like some of your early influences that made you want to start playing drums?
So honestly, it was, a lot, back to the deicide stuff, when I first heard stuff like that, I was just like blown away. Suffocation, Death, Disincarnate put out that album, just a lot of really good bands, Obituary from around here. I would hear them practicing because I lived near where they practiced at, and we would walk down there and listen to them practicing. I'm like barely 15 years old, so for us it was like but yeah, and then up at Skipper Storage, going up there, and back then all the good bands were always playing down there at Skipper Storage. You know what I mean? So Morbid Angel, I'd go down there and you could hear Pete Sandoval playing, you know what I mean? Antar from, Diabolic. So,
So you grew up in Florida, perfect place to grow up in the death metal scene. I mean, you were growing up while it was being birthed there for the most part.
Yeah, absolutely.
So did you ever get a chance to see Death while you were there?
No, I did not get to see Death. Unfortunately. I did. Wish I would have, though, obviously.
So Ronnie, was drums like the first instrument that you were interested in, or did you start playing something else before that?
I'm fluent in all instruments. I'm better on, I play piano, I play guitar, and everything like that. My main instruments are like piano and guitar. Mm-hmm. I was playing piano in church when I was like 7. Guitar, I've been playing pretty much all my life. Since I was like, 8, 9 years old, my uncle, brought a guitar over, and I learned how to play it and stuff and tune it before my brother Bobby did, and he was always on it and everything. And I'd already learned how to tune it by the time he left for the weekend and came back, and was learning, tunes like Metallica tunes, stuff like that, Slayer tunes and stuff, and he was just like, what the heck? Yeah, I have that project that I do, Blood Messiah, that's all me. It's not that great at production because I didn't have like great recording stuff, but I did put out the CD, but all that's me. I had a guy do vocals on it for me. I let him have his, let him do his own thing on the album and stuff like that. I thought he did a really good job with the context and stuff like that, the lyrics and stuff. So.
Now, do you plan on doing any more with that project?
Yeah, actually, I do have. I have already another 8 tunes for it that I have to just go and record everything. I just got like pre-production versions of them, but right now I just don't have the time, obviously, because all the 3 bands that I'm in, every one of them is working on an album, and every one of them's got shows and stuff like that. And Perdition Temple just got thrown on Maryland Death Fest for coming up, so.
Wow.
I don't have really time to, do the Blood Messiah right now at the moment.
So have you played Maryland Death Fest before?
Yeah, we played it, the Angel Corps played it there.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. And we played also the other Netherlands Death Fest and the California Death Fest. I played a couple of the other ones as well with like Perdition Temple, and I think I played one there maybe with Karis Forrest, another one of Pete Holmkamp's projects. Mm-hmm. Can't remember if we played that one or not.
So what do you got going on for the rest of this year between all the bands now?
Well, for this year, I guess the goal is to pretty much pump out these 3 albums for all 3 bands, since they're working vigorously on trying to get them all wrapped up and everything, but also doing these shows lined up as well. But my main goal is to get these albums with these guys because I, really want to be on an album with like the guy's name on and Brutality as well. So that's my goal, to get these albums wrapped up and everything, and do these shows in between and stuff. And I know once Amon signs a record deal, that's gonna push us into doing touring and stuff like that. So it's gonna get really busy.
So hey, when you were working with Amon, what kind of a part did you have in the writing process, Ronnie, for this album?
The writing process, we would all, because I'm a guitar player as well, so we would all work on riffs and stuff like that, and I would send over riffs to Eric, and he would do stuff to them, and then he would say, okay, well, let's put this part here, there, or whatever. So it was pretty much a collaboration with everything. Everybody was throwing ideas around and stuff like that, and Jesse pretty much has full reign on, the vocals and stuff like that. Everybody just has, putting their parts in and stuff, and Eric and Brian are obviously going to be doing all their own solo writing and stuff like that.
So what could we expect from the new Amon album, Ronnie, without giving away too much?
I think it's not as chaotic as their last album that they did prior to me being in there. It's a little more old schoolish. I think people are going to like it. I mean, there's a lot of Legion kind of riffs in some of the tunes. There's it's very tasteful stuff. I think people are going to be really surprised when they hear it, and they're going to know it's the Hoffmans. So because like I said, you could hear the Legion kind of stuff in there, and I think it's going to kill, honestly.
Now, as far as Brutality's new album that you guys have coming out, now, is that done now, or are you guys still in the writing process for that?
Actually, Amon's more close to being done than the Brutality one is, but they've got about 6 or 7 tunes that they're pretty much wrapping up at the moment, and they got a couple more to write, but I think we're going to actually play a new one at the show. I think it's like in June or something like that. Mm-hmm. We're going to bust out a new one for that show. But they're pretty much still writing a few and stuff like that, and it's going great too. I think everybody's going to be surprised. They're trying to make this one their heaviest out. I know everybody's wanting to do the next album heavier than the next one and stuff like that, but they're really trying to make sure that this one's a beast of an album because, you never know. It might be their last album for these guys, but they really want to come out swinging with it.
So Ronnie, what's the music scene like in Florida now for death metal?
It's not as good as it was back then, but to me, it seems like I don't know if it's because of the bands I'm playing in, but when we go to shows and stuff like that, it just seems like there's a lot of people that are, coming and, enjoying the shows and stuff like that. But, like other bands that you would go see, like maybe it's Off Times or something like that. Sometimes it's, not very packed. But then again, might be another show going on that you're not at, that everybody else is at. But to me, I think it was better back in the day, but it's definitely getting a lot stronger now.
And just some little drummy questions. What kind of kit are you currently playing on, Ronnie?
Right now I have this Ludwig kit that I'm playing, that green and black faded Ludwig kit that I play. I like it. It has the smaller toms on it, but I think they cut through a little better, especially on the recording for me. We got the toms sounding pretty dang good on it and everything. I would prefer the bigger toms, but I have to wait till I can, buy another kit. So,
so what is your dream kit, Ronnie?
I'm probably going to get a Tama kit, Tama or probably a Pearl or something, one of the two.
And so, Ronnie, do you have as far as sites for people to learn more for, Amon and Brutality, do they have basically the Facebook pages? Do you know if they have any websites that people could go to as well?
I know Brutality has Brutal stuff. They got the Facebook page as well. I think it's Brutality, the band. Amon, obviously, they have the Facebook page as well. Tradition Temple does as well, the Facebook, and they all have their each own, I think Amon even has CD Baby going on and stuff like that. So yeah, all of them have a social media thing going on. Some somewhere in there.
So it sounds like you're going to have a pretty busy year then between doing albums with all these bands and playing some shows, and you get to go up to Maryland again, so that'll be kind of fun for you.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't wait to, tour with, with Amon and stuff like that. I'm always on the phone with Eric and stuff, and usually me and him are on the phone for a few hours sometimes even, and I think it's just funny as hell, He's always got me dying laughing, I mean, everybody knows that Eric and Glenn, have that, beef with each other, so, when Eric's, joking around and telling me stories about it, he just has me fucking dying laughing, so they're super cool guys.
Well, that's always good, too, to have a good, rapport with each other in the band, too. It just makes life so much easier.
He was telling me about this cartoon he wants to make of it and stuff with these bobblehead characters. I mean, he had me dying the other night, on the phone and stuff. Some of the stuff he was talking about, I was just like, dude, if you actually made that would be a gold mine. People would watch that.
Well, we're going to look forward to that now. Hopefully he does do something like that. And hopefully once the Amon album comes out, we'll have we'll have all of you on like we kind of planned, but it's always so hard to get everybody together. But Ronnie, thank you for coming on the show, telling us about Amon and Brutality and Perdition Temple and all this stuff you're into. And good luck with all this writing and the shows you're doing. And again, thank you so much for taking the time to come on the show tonight.
Absolutely, no problem. Thank you for having me.